All right. Michael, you have a very scowled look on your face, and for good reason. We just recorded a 2-hour long episode, or an hour and a half long episode, and the fucking thing didn't even save. So, unfortunately, we're out of quality content because that was a good video. Maybe we're just destined to never do a top 10 superhero movie at this point, and you're quiet because you're still very upset. So, in this episode, instead of doing a top 10 favorite superhero movie of all time, we are doing the cop-out route, and we're doing a top 10 favorite movie of all time, just across all forms of movies. And Michael, you're going to have to say something eventually.
Yeah. So this isn't going to be superhero movies. All right.
See, and it was so annoying because we had the new intro and everything in that video too. About the guys with glasses.
Yeah. So
Yay, go us.
We got a new name. Called Guys with Glasses.
Enough of that shit.
Short version. Last night was watching a mock episode, something I don't do normally, and then
you put more emotion in the last explanation. You're just kind of like, yeah, I watched
another
episode.
Because I talked an hour and a half now, and I'm tired.
You're tired from talking. Since when the fuck has that happened to you?
It happens. So anyway, I was watching a mock episode yesterday, something I don't usually do, and I noticed, I liked mock, but I didn't know if that was going to be the name we were going to keep. You don't know if it's the one.
That's not the name we're going to keep 3 hours or 3 years after we made the channel.
It's been 3 years.
It's been up in a hiatus for that long. We tried Banter Brothers at one point.
Yes! Yes! Oh my god.
That didn't happen.
I forgot that.
Banter
Brothers.
That was the one episode you're like, let's try Banter Brothers. Lasted one episode. Welcome back to the mock show.
Yeah, Banter Brothers.
A TO state of mind.
Do you want to be called Banter?
No, Guys with Glasses is better.
All right, so now we're Guys with Glasses.
Are we Banter? But what are we, though? Are we Banter Brothers?
What
do you think?
Anyway,
well, yeah, we'll talk about that later.
But fuck it, whatever. So as Kevin said, this is a top 10. Now, this was a very hard list to make. So we have our top 10 favorite movies, and then we're gonna dip into.
We have honorable mentions, which we're gonna start with. To set the. All right, I guess we're doing this.
I'm gonna go to the board and try to make out what the hell I wrote because I can't read any of that at the bottom.
What is your honorable mention?
I don't know. I can't read that. So you talk about your honorable mentions. Bruce.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that one.
Fuck that up.
So,
all right. So while Michael is collecting himself and trying to read his chicken scratch of writing, why? I don't know. In my honorable mention list, we have 5 movies. They were close to making the cut, but ultimately they did not hold on their own against the other top 10. Hence the honorable mention moniker in which they are being categorized under. First of the honorable mentions is the movie Up, which, Kakamo, you only remember that movie as the dog saying squirrel. It was a great movie. It made me think about life and mortality at a young age, young age being 5 years ago. But the problem was that it wasn't quite up to snuff with the other movies on my list. So unfortunately, Up, you are one of my favorite movies, but just unfortunately not in my top 10. Second runner-up is Goon.
Oh.
You didn't see that movie, but that's a great hockey movie.
Yeah.
Next to Miracle as the top hockey movies of all time, apparently.
Not even Slapshot?
Not even Slapshot. Goon is that amazing. And I love hockey, so that's why this had to be on there as well. Up in the Air.
Oh,
is my third runner-up. I love that movie. George Clooney.
That was a good movie, yeah.
Anna Kendricks and a bunch of other random people. It was a great movie, but again, not there.
That one.
Fourth runner-up is 50-50. Have you heard of that?
I did see that one.
Love that movie. JGL, one of my favorite actors.
I love Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen in that movie.
I fucking nailed it. Oh my god, I love that.
That is a great movie.
That scene where he just corners her. And
that movie is great. And then my last runner-up is Les Miserables. Les Miserables. Les Miserables. Don't fucking laugh at that. It was an epic. All right.
Okay, now mine.
It's a bit more macho.
Yeah. Dark Knight.
Moss. B.A. What the fuck does that mean?
The short norm. So the Dark Knight is.
See
now, my honorable mentions I didn't really list. They're just kind of there. So in no particular order. It's the Dark Knight, Man of Steel, Bruce Almighty, Wedding Crashers, Beverly Hills Cop 2. Um, yeah, more macho than Kevin's. But at the same time, they're both great stories. I talked to death about The Dark Knight and Man of Steel, and I really have no energy to talk about it right now. Bruce Almighty, great to see
You
Canadian.
just sound so dejected. You're just kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
Bruce Almighty, yeah,
Great
Jim
story
Carrey.
about God, and it kind of makes you really think about.
And it makes you
life.
realize the only way the Buffalo Sabres are going to win a Stanley Cup is if God happens to be in Buffalo.
Exactly.
This coming from a Sabres fan.
Wedding
but
Crashers, need I say any more? Hilarious movie. Vince Vaughn's hilarious. Owen Wilson.
You know, you make me want to shout. And not the other shitty version that you don't like that plays on our dances, but the proper
Oh
one.
yeah, that was shit. Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, that was shit.
Great movie. Funny movie. Jane Seymour's hot as hell. Owen Wilson plays a great straight man. And then Beverly Hills Cop
Plays a great straight man.
well, like the straight man in the comedy duo.
Oh, they're like straight into like non-homosexual.
Right.
So you'd be Owen Wilson in that situation, and I would be Vince Vaughn.
You'd be the hilarious one.
No, I'd be the fucking retarded one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Plus, I'm taller and I
Yeah.
can be. Yeah. Anyway,
My favorite Beverly Hills Cop of the series. Great movie.
because all of them were classics.
The
Right,
first
Michael?
two won. The
Right,
first two
Michael?
Yes, Kevin. The
Yes,
third,
Michael.
The third was shit. The second
The
one.
third was crap.
The second
I never
one,
saw any of
no.
them.
Dumbass.
Who am I to say anything?
So-
Heyo, waka waka. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
See, I have no energy. You have too much energy.
It's like I rebounded.
Oh, that's great.
It's like I'm ready for a second round.
We were in the Playboy Mansion in Beverly Hills Cop 2. That's
Not
great.
Michael, but actually someone else.
I could have gone to the Playboy Mansion back in October.
You could have, but you didn't, Michael.
Fucking school.
You did it,
Fucking
man.
school.
Fuck school. Go to
Alright.
Playboy Mansion.
Go to your top 10, Kevin.
You just sound again so defeated. You sound fucking befuddled.
Yep.
Like not even
Go.
confused, but just upset.
Go.
Yep, go.
Just go.
Okay. Top 10 kicks off with my number 10 pick, which was actually one of your honorable mentions. Here, use this.
No, I'm good. I cleaned my glasses. It's fine.
Whatever. My top 10 favorite movie, or my number 10 favorite movie, is Bruce Almighty. I saw Evan Almighty last night, and let me tell you, Bruce Almighty is way fucking better.
Oh, you didn't know that by the trailer?
I never saw Evan Almighty ever, and
Oh.
so I never even saw a trailer. It was on TV last night, and I was watching it with my mom because she was watching it, and then I'm like, Bruce Almighty was great. This movie, not so
Because it's
much.
Steve Carell.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, no, but definitely Bruce Almighty made the list.
Crazy Stupid Love was actually could be in my honorable mentions too.
Yeah.
Oh well, go on. Go.
Well,
Go.
yeah. So Bruce Almighty, definitely one of our favorite movies. It's hilarious. Morgan Freeman was great. Jennifer Aniston was hot as usual, and definitely Jim Carrey was the coup de grace of that.
God is Canadian, kind of.
How?
Jim
Morgan
Carrey.
Freeman. Oh yeah.
He was God for like a week.
All right. So Michael, what is your number 10 favorite movie?
Lethal Weapon 3. I love all the Lethal Weapons.
You ain't too old for this shit now, Michael.
I love the whole.
Get that as a play on,
I-
not play on words.
I love the whole Riggs and Murtaugh friendship. I really love it a lot.
Who's Riggs and who's Murtaugh?
Riggs is played by
Think about it.
Mel Gibson.
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
say Morgan Freeman. And Danny Glover plays the detective Murtaugh. Great movies. I love them all. Their friendship, their banter was just amazing. Joe Pesci's all right. But Lethal Weapon 3,
Joe Pesci just there.
Lethal Weapon 3 kind of opens with a big action sequence. A hockey battle happens. They
What?
fight in a hockey rink briefly, which I really like. And I just love everything 90s. That movie is totally 90s, and I miss that decade like you wouldn't believe. So,
See, we are real 90s kids because we grew up in the 90s. We weren't
Exactly.
born in 1998 and we're like, oh, we're 90s kids. Get
Yeah.
the fuck out of here.
exactly.
Stupid cunts. Ooh.
That was Kevin that said that, not me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that movie was just filled with 90s nostalgia, and I love it. It's a funny movie. It's the most entertaining one of the bunch. The villain isn't really so developed, but other than that, hell of a movie.
Definitely a hell of a movie, Michael.
Yeah, Kevin. Fucking go.
You seemed happier before we started recording. And now that we're recording again, you're like so upset.
Because I had a lot of great things to say on that last podcast, and now it's all down to shit.
Well, then we'll have to do it again one day. Another year from now.
Go.
My number 9 favorite movie, and this is my favorite movie growing up as a kid, was Aladdin. I remember what?
Toy Story 3 is not in my honorable mention.
You fucked that. I told you.
I
And
know.
you fucked that up again.
Go on.
Aladdin. I remember when I was sick, when I was 3 years old, and I watched that movie. It was a VHS. Did you ever have those old VHS rewinder things where
Oh
you
my
put it in and
God,
it rewind
yeah.
it for you, you pop it in again?
Yeah,
I had one of
yeah.
those. I pretty much broke it after I was sick when I was 3, because I honestly, my mom, God bless her, she kept doing that for our tape of Aladdin, because I had like pneumonia or some shit. I was like dying. And so she kept putting it on and on again, and it was definitely one of my all-time favorite movies. And that was the reason why I love Robin Williams. My first introduction to him, I checked out his stand-up comedy and didn't see the new show he's in now.
Oh,
But
new episode this week.
Robin Williams was amazing in that movie. Definitely one of my all-time favorite animated movies, but number 9 on my list.
All right. My number 9 is Hangover.
Which one?
The first one.
Okay. Not 2,
Not 2,
not 3.
and not 3. Number
1, baby.
The first Hangover was it. Oh my God, what a oh man. You know what? It's weird because I had a hard time between Hangover and Horrible Bosses.
Oh shit! That didn't even. Oh, I forgot that too.
See, this is a tough list that we can't just do in 10 minutes. But I was thinking
We
about
did it anyway.
But I forgot a lot. Hangover and Horrible Bosses, those two were funny, but Hangover gets the edge just because it was such a weird, interesting, awesome take of bachelor party going wrong. Funny as hell. You get Leslie Chow, which he's not in it a lot, but when he is,
Who's he
in it,
played by?
shit, Ken Jeong.
Yeah.
And just hilarious. Vegas. I mean, makes me think about my own time in Vegas if we ever.
Oh, because that was fun.
I never went.
I was.
Oh, right. Bradley Cooper. I always thought after Wedding Crashers, I was like, you know what, this guy's gonna be a huge star.
I'm gonna totally date this thing. But did you see that thing where Louis C.K.
Yeah.
You saw that, right?
Yeah. That he was like, oh, you're never gonna be anyone if you have to ask Sean Penn. Yeah.
And sure enough, Bradley Cooper did that back in the day, and inside the actor's studio. But
Yep. He's the only graduate in that entire actor's studio to have made it.
Really?
Yep. So yeah, Bradley Cooper. I got to see him as a star. I knew Ed Helms from The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. I loved that hell out of that show.
He was on The Daily Show?
Yeah, in the early 2000s. He was around, and I got to see him
shit.
there. Yeah, he was good guy. Good comedian.
Because you knew him personally.
No, I
He's
don't.
a great guy.
He was funny as hell. So, yeah, fun movie.
All right, so my number 8 pick for top 10 favorite movies is The Dark Knight. Again, we went into great detail with this movie in our last recording, but unfortunately, we don't have it anymore. So we can't stop bringing that up. But The Dark Knight, footnotes from our last conversation was that it delivered everything that Batman Begins did set up to do. There were small errors in terms of the Joker and setting up certain things. I fucking give up too.
I know, we talked about this so much.
Fuck!
Careful.
Sorry. Walls are thin.
Really
People are going to think we're having sex. This is just unfortunate. So definitely.
Dark Knight. I'm not.
Data Raw!
Data Raw!
But no, definitely.
Recasting Maggie Gyllenhaal, both of us didn't really care for her.
Yeah, I look like you're giving my review.
Yeah,
Thank you.
fuck. Two-Face, because I'm going to storm by it quickly. Two-Face, his motivation was kind of unclear. Like, it was just too convenient. More like the script called for him to be bad rather than...
Man, we actually went into a lot of detail
We
in the last
did.
review. Fucking bullshit.
All
All right.
Ready?
Your number 8.
My number 8, Batman Begins.
Oh,
Favorite superhero movies. Things I had a problem with. Obviously they're all great movies. But it was great to see an origin of Batman. But
what is your number 2? Oh, we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
My Batman Begins though. Problems I had was the close camera shots of Batman fighting. I mean, Chris Nolan gave his reason, but still, you want to see Batman punch somebody and not like an arm just go across the screen. It was great to see Ra's al Ghul, a B character, take up
Shout out to Liam Neeson.
the whole B character take up the entire trilogy.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, the suit was awkward. The cowl was awkward. But other
What's
than
the
that,
cowl?
It was like that big weird cougar-like head.
That was a brilliant I mean, no one can see that.
But yeah, great movie, great movie. I put it in, I don't know, a 9 point. What did I have it? 9.4 out of 10.
All right. So, my number 7 favorite movie, and have you ever even heard of this movie?
I've heard of the movie. I've never seen it.
It's called The Grey, with Liam Neeson.
Where he fucks wolves?
He doesn't fuck them. He fucks them up. He fights.
Very good.
Basically, this movie is a story about like your basic instinct of survival. You know what? And the thing is that the characters in this movie, I personally found that they were very relatable. They were basically just a bunch of average guys that I could see myself being in that same situation in. You definitely felt.
DRO, motherfucker.
Yeah, fuck you, Wolf.
Big Fat Liar is my other honorable mention.
Yeah, there you go. Love
I'm just gonna keep doing this.
But the thing with the Grey was that you felt for the characters when they were killed. You definitely felt like a member of the team was gone, and you really felt sorry for them. You don't feel sorry that they're dead, but you felt bad that they were gone. And it was basically a take on man's basic instinct of survival. Like, do you just give up if you're up shit creek without a paddle, or do you persevere and live? Like, you know, there were a lot of times in that movie where Liam Neeson keeps going, and I'm like, I would have given up a long time ago. Fucking just give me the gun with the one bullet, and I would have ended it right there. But it's man versus nature is what that whole. I was gonna say the what's the word I'm thinking of?
Last Man Standing?
No. It's like the archetype. There we go. In terms of like man versus nature, it's just kind of like it's a definitive story of how you go against the elements and basically what a man would go through to preserve his life and live is just incredible. Definitely had to be my top 10 favorite movies of all time. And Liam Neeson is, again, he's Irish, so props, like shout out to that. But yeah, so on to Mikey's number 7 pick, which is
Star Trek Into Darkness. Star Trek Into Darkness.
You said it before I finished the
I
drum
know,
roll.
whatever.
Fuck! Sorry, I keep yelling.
Star Trek Into Darkness. I was totally surprised. I'd seen Man of Steel 3 times.
And you
already.
saw this, correct me if I'm wrong, with your dad
with
this summer.
My entire family went to go see it because we were trying to see. I was going to see Man of Steel a 4th time, and the tickets.
Thank God that didn't happen.
But we came a little late, and we
That's
were
what
like,
he said.
Star Trek Into Darkness played half an hour later. So we just went to that movie, and my God, was I ever blown away. I mean, I know the Star Trek nerds are like, you know what, this is a disgrace. This is everything against
It's a
Star Trek.
travesty, but
My dad is a huge Star Trek fan, especially
we're
the original
more
series.
Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Well, more you so. But so that's why you can see this movie and not really give a shit.
My dad actually thought that this was like not as great as Wrath of Khan, but it
As Wrath of Khan?
well, because it's kind of
Wath?
like Wrath of Khan.
Oh, you said Wath.
Oh, whatever.
Like the guy from Big Bang Theory. What's his name? Kripke?
No, yeah,
Kripke. Yeah.
Kripke. Star Trek Into Darkness was blew me away. You know what? I have Man of Steel as a 9 out of 10. This is a 9.1. This was just surprised the shit out of me. We bought it, I think, the first day it came on DVD. Benedict Cumberbatch is flawless. Just what a picture, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, Jesus Christ, and I wanted to see Man of Steel a 4th time. Come on. So,
I
yeah.
know. See the movie 3 times already in the theater, Mike. That is a lot of money. Now,
Actually, no, it was no. There were 2 free passes and 1 half off.
so you never really paid full price for any of those
Exactly.
movies. So fuck you.
People give me gift cards, man. What do you
Yeah,
want?
no, that's good. What I like about this list this time around is that our number 6 picks
Are kind
are of the
similar.
same trilogy. Yeah.
5.
Well,
Yeah.
there's
go
a
on.
5th one?
There's a 5th made-for-TV movie. It's shit.
What?
I know. I saw 10 seconds of it.
Is
Yeah.
it the same character?
No, I don't know. It was recent. It was done in like 2012, 2013.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm gonna check
so-
that out later. Shout out to that. Home Alone 5. So my number 6 pick,
I'm alone.
Home Alone. Sorry. Home Alone. God.
The Santa Claus. That's also going to be in my honorable mentions.
No, you say you're gonna keep doing that, so you're gonna do it. The thing with Home Alone is that I watch that movie with my parents any time of the year. It doesn't have to be around Christmas. It is just such a good movie.
Yep.
Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern as the Wet Bandits. You know what? It's just what more can I say about Home Alone? It is so self-explanatory. One of John Hughes, one of his greatest pictures. You know, it's sad that he passed away. Never really feeling he accomplished much for cinema by not getting an Oscar, but he made movies like Home Alone that are timeless. And oh yeah, Uncle Buck is one of my other honorable mentions. But no, definitely Home Alone, number 6 pick. It doesn't matter what time of the year it is. You can always watch Home Alone. That is my closing statement.
I debated because I have Home Alone 2 as my 6th pick, and I love Christmas in New York. I think it's just amazingly beautiful when it's Christmas there. The music, I love the Home Alone music. Like, that's Christmas to me. I mean, the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, I mean, that's good Christmas music.
But John Williams has such a good way
yeah.
of doing scores for movies that
but
it was just...
some of them are similar too, right? Like, you can sometimes...
you can see, like, Home Alone
but there's some
and Harry Potter, the first two, you can tell they're very similar.
Exactly. But Home Alone 2, I think, was a step up on the original Home Alone.
But how can you be Home Alone if he's not home? I never understood
Well,
that.
they had to change it, right? You couldn't have... He was... I don't know.
Well,
you his uncle's home alone.
Yeah, and you can't have the same movie twice, like Hangover.
And I'm not going into that debate. But Home Alone 2...
What debate? It's the same fucking movie.
But you knew that going in!
So why did we watch it?
I went because I love watching those three. They have amazing chemistry.
Did we see the third one?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. So we were devoted at that point, but...
Fun movie. Love Christmas in New York. Kevin gets to learn about...
that was before Tim Curry got all fat and shit like he is now. Like, poor guy.
That was, Home Alone 2 was much more funnier than the first one, and I love the first one. I didn't know really who to choose. I could have gone either way, but I went with Home Alone 2.
All right, so we're going into our top 5, Mike.
One's interesting.
What?
Your
Number
5th
5?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's not even on my top 100, so go ahead.
Have you seen the movie?
I think we saw it together, Grade 11 Religion, right?
Yeah. I love it. Again, well, I'm a big World War II thing,
right.
so that's the thing.
So
my number 5 movie is Schindler's List. Again, going back to Liam Neeson and Ben Kingsley. I am a big historian. I find World War II, like, I loved it as a kid. I was kind of fascinated by it, and the whole issue with it kind of went to show that not all Germans during World War II were Nazis, and the fact that the character the fact that the character of Oskar Schindler grew from a Nazi sympathizer and a member of the Nazi Party to basically purchase all these Jews, and kind of set them free. And you know what? It just is a very inspirational story. It was the fact that it was actually real and it happened.
Did he ever get caught, or
he fled?
Oh, okay.
He went on the train. But the thing is that he's actually buried in Jerusalem, and there is patronage of a lot of people that will go to his tomb.
Oh.
Like all this stuff actually happened,
Yeah.
and so obviously it's glorified for Hollywood, but definitely Schindler's List. It just went to show that, like, you know what, and like in terms of the directing though, it was just like
I remember it being
it was
very
such,
like, it was black and white, and like when they went to the gas chambers, it kind of felt like you were watching a documentary. That's the whole thing. It was a period piece, obviously, and I can watch that movie all the time. It's depressing as shit, but it is such a uplifting, like not uplifting, but it's inspirational. Funny fact: when was it Steven Spielberg, when he was directing it, it was so depressing that he would watch reruns of Seinfeld.
Yeah, during the show, during the showing, because he's just like it was really depressing.
Did you ever see Swing Kids with Christian Bale?
I have not seen Swing Kids, no.
Because we saw that in grade 10, and it was kind of the same thing, kind of, but not really.
Kind of, but not really.
So you're okay.
But no, that's not even your top 100. You didn't like that movie, did you?
I go for more not depressing movies. Clearly, I mean.
Well, look at the rest of your list. But they're all great. I still know what number 2 is. Can't wait for that, folks. All right, number 5 for Michael is...
I am a huge fan of the Rocky series, and...
You are the animal. I'm the extinction.
That's not in Rocky.
It was in Fairly Odd Parents, but they were spoofing Sylvester Stallone, so... You are the animal. I'm the extinction.
I love... it's hard to pick a favorite Rocky.
But you went with the newest one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's also Smallville. My favorite episode was the 200th, when he goes and he looks back in his past and stuff. I don't know. I have a very weird affinity for stories that look back at their past and shows how they got to where they are. And I don't know, for whatever reason, Rocky Balboa struck a chord. I love the first one. I love the second one. Love the third one. Love the fourth one. I like the fifth one. I think, you know what? I don't know if Stallone is being too hard on himself or he's just doing that for the press, but I thought, you know what? It was an interesting take on the story. Rocky Balboa, no Adrian right off the bat. His wife's is dead.
Fucking buzzkill.
But you know what? It tells a very, you know what, you really feel for Rocky, and it was the most emotionally invested I ever been with the character. And
well, even drawing back on your Harry Potter fan fiction, you even fucking name dropped Rocky Balboa how many fucking times? Like a lot.
So it was a very good movie. You know, the villain. The guy he was against really wasn't that villainous. I mean, Apollo Creed, they made it really look like he was the bad guy, the Russian.
Well, Dolph
Clubber
Lundgren.
Lang. Yeah.
Who's Clubber Lang?
Clubber Lang was in Rocky 3.
That was Mr. T, right?
Mr. T, yeah. So
and who was Ivan Drago? Oh, Ivan Drago
was the Swedish guy.
Yeah.
Dolph Lundgren. And Tommy Gunn was played by Tommy Morrison. So they always made it go out of their way to make the villains in Rocky be like villains. Whereas this one, there was kind of depth to him.
Was Mr. T a villain in Rocky 3?
Oh yeah, he was. Oh my god,
didn't his character die in Rocky 4?
No.
Didn't Ivan Drago kill him?
Apollo Creed died in Rocky
Yeah,
4.
Didn't that guy kill him or something like that?
Yeah. Which sucks,
fine.
But
Keep going.
Whatever. So Rocky Balboa, I think great. Just overall loved it. There's some people have problems.
You heard it
with
from Michael, folks. Great, and more great.
They should put it on the poster.
That should be the new tagline.
But no, it was a fitting end. It was a very fitting end. The last shot, the running up the stairs shot. It's not the last shot, but the running up the stairs moment.
Hey, we used that in your audition for that video.
Yeah.
Just saying. Shout out to
that. And the last scene where he's at his wife's grave and he's like, "Yo, Adrian, we did it." Actually,
Does he actually say, "Yo, Adrian"?
Yo, Adrian, we did it, and he walks away.
Yo, he says, "Yo."
Yeah, I think so. Two monologues that I've used in auditions myself.
You used that one?
No, not that one. There was two. One where he is at the boxing commission and he's trying to get his license back, and the other one where he talks about his, oh my god, I can't even remember it right now at the top of my head. It sucks because this is the one I know the most. It's where he's with his son in the alley and he's like telling him not to give up. You keep moving forward. Winning is done by moving forward. If you want to get what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to stop taking the hits, and stop pointing fingers because that's not a way to live and whatever. So that one for me, I was just like right there, story of life. It completed the circle. Rocky Balboa, number 5.
That was good. It was beautiful, man. Brought a fucking tear to my eye. So now moving up, my number 4 pick is a movie that we were talking about in the last video, but you didn't see. Is The Town. I believe it's Ben Affleck's directorial debut.
No, his was Gone Baby Gone.
Gone Baby Gone. Okay, well, this is one of his more recent ones. It came out in 2010. It's the story of a bank robber who falls in love with one of the people that he kidnapped as a hostage. And basically, Jeremy Renner's in that movie. John Hamm's in that movie.
Blake Lively is in that movie?
Blake Lively is as a really nasty, coked out hooker. Not really a hooker, but just coked out. Yeah, all I hear is easy. That's what I get for that. She's just easy.
Well, she's got to be coked because based on that Green Lantern performance, good lord.
No, but definitely Jeremy Renner. That was the first movie I saw with him in it, and it totally changed my perspective in terms of what he was capable of doing. It's kind of like I never heard of him, but after that, I was so interested in him. Ben Affleck, it was nice to see him kind of go into a role that's kind of out of his comfort zone of being a pretty boy. Like he was this drug using, he was a criminal, but the fact that he had morality and had romantic feelings for this girl that he used as a hostage when he robbed the bank.
Yeah.
And you know what? It definitely was a great heist movie, very suspenseful.
Keep going.
All right, keep going. But no, like the thing with that movie though is that it's great replay value, but it's just one of those things where I just
have to register for a course, I think. Go on.
Okay.
Keep going.
But ultimately the Town has just been like one of the movies I remember seeing it at in September of first year, so just when we started at Brock.
Well, you started.
It was
Brock,
you were at another school, another shitty school. We went for our friend's birthday. Uh, oh, that was good. Well, okay. Well, hey, you went to the party the following year, so you can't say shit.
I think I went to the dinner. I didn't go to the movie. I remember I. Did you go to the movie? No.
We went to the movie first, and then I went home, and then you went to the after party, I think.
No.
Yeah.
Whatever. Go on.
But just and then that for me is another reason why I like the movie so much is because it was a very interesting time in my life because I was just starting off at university. I'm very like the fact that I'm wrapping up university now means I feel very nostalgic towards the whole experience at Brock, and and so the thing with that is that now that I'm looking back on my time at Brock and of university in general, and that I'm very sad that it's coming to an end. I look back on that first weekend that I came home in first year and watched that movie with my friends, and it's just that period in time that I'm going to miss. And so that's definitely one of the reasons why I like this movie as well. But in terms of the movie as a film, definitely the pacing of it was fantastic. It would never bored me at any points at all. The points where they were talking or they were just sort of, developing the plot, it was very engrossing. I guess the best word to say it, your fucking phone's vibrating, I think.
I know.
Is it a phone call?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
That's fucking gay. But with regards, sorry, that's my train of thought here. But the pacing of the movie, like I said, was never boring. Ben Affleck was it was the movie before I kind of took him seriously as an actor and as a director. After watching that, I realized that he was better than Geely and other shitty movies like that. But definitely a fantastic movie. And you know what? The final scene there where they're at Fenway and they're trying to pull out that big heist at the ballpark and everything, that was just it was exciting. John Hamm was great as, I guess you can call him the lead head detective or the head cop or whatever like that, I guess would be the best way to describe him. Definitely, he was fantastic in that movie. But just overall, I can't stop talking about how this movie just pulled me in terms of what it was able to accomplish. It was a great heist movie, which is very seldom you see one of those nowadays. It's true. I can't think of any good other heist movies that came out recently. I don't think so. But ultimately, like, it's just one of those things where definitely in my top 5, love the shit out of that movie. I know they're not going to make a sequel, obviously, but I always they should adopt it to like an HBO TV show or something like that. Maybe one day. They're doing that with Fargo, so I mean they can pretty much do that with anything now. But definitely, my number 4 pick is The Town, and yeah, relax.
Well, he just whatever. So yeah, all right. So my number 4 then.
Yeah.
Okay, so now.
Sorry, Michael is doing some important school-related business right now as he's not talking.
No, I'm fully aware and I fully hear what Kevin's saying. So now everyone thinks that Rocky. Well, a lot of people talk about Rocky being the coming of age story, the ultimate coming of age story, and sorry, I just showed him a very funny looking picture, which is hilarious.
Oh, that's mildly racist.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah, only just a little bit though.
Yeah. So we
Michael's running off here to drop his camera off or his computer, not his camera, and he's coming back. There we
go.
go.
Okay. So I think one of the greatest coming of age stories is actually Empire Strikes Back.
Wow.
My favorite Star Wars movie. I love.
How is it a coming of age story?
Well, why is it a coming of age story? Because it's about a guy becoming a Jedi. He has to face the Sith Lord.
The trials and tribulations.
Exactly.
Of fucking midichlorian bullshit.
See, Kevin, this is the story where he's no longer that little farm boy anymore. He's now a man, and now he's going to become a warrior. And I love the shit out of Empire Strikes Back. My 3, 4, and 5 picks could be interchanged, but I really love the shit out of Rocky and Empire. And I put Empire one step before because I love Star Wars. That original trilogy meant a lot to me as a kid, and to see what they did with the prequels makes me sick. But
visibly, like actually ill, physically ill.
Yeah, I mean,
Oy vey.
So,
George Lucas is rolling in his grave if he were dead.
hey, no, they gave him free reign, and if you look at like behind the scenes of the prequels, it's just like him just spewing off shitty ideas and Spielberg just looking at him going like, dude, are you out of your fucking mind?
But the thing is that he was like George Toy Boy Lucas, looking to just to sell shit.
Yep.
Like,
Jar Binks.
Do you know how much money he probably made off of Attack of the Clones? Not the good cartoon series, but the shitty one that came out in 2008, the movie we went to see with Simon.
That was shit. That was a beyond shit.
But the fact they made the TV show out of that, and they made a lot of...
They had an earlier cartoon show on
That's what I'm saying. That was the good one.
Yeah.
The two-dimensional cartoons, not this 3D bullshit.
Oh.
But I was working at Toys R Us at the time, and I just remember there were so many fucking toys and figurines of the Clone Wars. They made a fucking killing off that shit, and George Lucas is laughing all the way to the fucking bank.
Yep. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, and I love the.
Like, how do you have Facebook on your phone and on the computer going at the same time?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, but no, I get it.
I mean, like, I love the original series. Like I said, I find every movie flawless until Return of the Jedi. Just because of those Ewoks, man. I was okay until the friggin' Ewoks. Like, you can get away with Tatooine, the dance party in Tatooine, who had nothing to do with the movie, but that was just all kinds of bad. But Empire Strikes Back, I love it. Vader, Luke facing off for the first time, one of my favorite fights next to Episode 1. The only redeemable thing about that movie.
Da-da, da-da, na-na,
na-na. Yes. So yeah, that's my number 4.
All right. So moving on, my number 3 is like your least favorite movie of all time.
Not my least favorite.
One of your least favorites.
It's one of my least favorite Pixar movies. I think it's overrated.
I think it's fantastic.
Well, that's your opinion.
And I'm entitled to it. Thank you very much, Mike. My number 3. My number 3 pick on my top 10 favorite movies is WALL-E. The thing that you and our other friend Paulina both agreed on was that you both thought this movie was fucking boring as shit.
And we both didn't care for Iron Man that much.
Yeah. So you guys didn't get along except in those two regards.
And we both liked How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. Well, shout out to that.
Shout out.
Yeah, because she's obviously gonna be listening to this. No, she's not. The thing I liked about WALL-E is that, and you're gonna totally disagree with this, but I don't care.
That's fine.
I thought it was so interesting how they could keep me invested in a movie with no dialogue.
Man, as long as they kept you invested.
The fact that you had the main characters not able to talk for the first half an hour, except yeah, exactly like that.
Credits.
But the thing I liked about the movie though is that it kind of sent a message in the sense that, you know, the planet Earth was so salvaged and destroyed by humanity and greed that the only way to save the human race was to ship them off in a giant spaceship and have them hurtle through space as Earth became uninhabitable. And it just basically, because my interest in school right now is revolving around environmentalism and the way that humans consume resources from the planet, it's just interesting to see Disney and Pixar obviously very much elaborated for the sake of a cartoon and for a kids movie, but the fact is that you can tell like the by and large corporation, which is arguably that of, like, say, Walmart, the fact that it's very they want it to be these, you know, lovable characters, and they want to be these awesome people, but they basically fucked over the planet because of, you know, pollution and polluting the planet and stuff like that. And so, you know what? It just goes to show that, you know, a robot can come back, plant a tree, and the whole planet goes back to being normal again. But definitely, and the fact that, you know, it was interesting to see how, like, just the satire of the people that are sitting in those reclining chairs, like the people that are 800 pounds.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're just like they're Skyping and FaceTiming other people. And the fact they don't give a shit about anything else. like they were talking on a phone and there's a fucking robot in front of their face, but they don't really pay attention because they're so into what they're doing. It's a satire on.
No, that was the message I did like. What though? I did like, I'm not gonna say I hated it as much as I hated like Green Lantern or whatever. But no, that message.
Green Lantern added no substance.
Oh God, that. Ugh. But no, I totally agree. That was the one redeemable quality about that movie. I was like, finally, someone tackled, especially a kids Pixar film, in whatever year it came out in.
2008 it came out.
Right. So, oh yeah, that's right, because Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So, they tackled that, and I thought that was amazing. I was like, thank you. Someone has actually touched this topic in a kids film and a Pixar film, which a lot of kids are going to see.
Especially because
I'm going to see how much it made at the box office.
It made 200 or 300 million. But the thing is that especially because you and I have both worked in a school with kids, and we are both very aware of how kids today. We're going to sound old when I say this, but they seem so addicted to technology. And you know what? A lot of people are saying that it's the new generation of communication. It's beats out talking to people, and like in terms of face to face, like it's a more convenient way to converse with people. But I say that talking on computers and stuff like that is arguably degenerative to the socializing process of humanity. Because I know it sounds weird, but like I know so many people, and I'm sure you're like this as well, where you can talk to them on Facebook.
We talked about this in the...
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But we could talk to them for hours online, but when you try to get them to talk in person, there's just no dice. There's just nothing to work with. And that's because they're just accustomed to talking not to a face, but to a computer screen. And the fact they do tackle that in a kids movie like WALL-E, which is where a lot of them are going to see, is great. So how much did that make in the box office?
So its budget was $180 million. It made $521 million at the box office worldwide.
Not bad. So now that was my number 3 pick. On to you, Mike.
All right, Kevin. So number 3 is Spider-Man 2. Favorite superhero movie.
If you listened to last video or last thing, you would have.
Last 2 videos we've done on this shit.
You would have known that.
Spider-Man 2, great movie. Finally, it's a superhero movie that tackles, it's the struggles of being a regular Joe with superpowers. You take all the action away, which I wish I would never want to do, but you still have yourself a great dramatic story. The train sequence was amazing. The action was amazing. Kirsten Dunst, meh. Everyone else, though, great cast, great story. Unfortunately, we had Spider-Man 3 as a follow-up act. But then again,
what's better than Tobey Maguire being all emo and like walking down the street, just snapping his fingers and fucking with the emo haircut and shit?
The emo haircut, I'm fine with.
I didn't even see the movie, so what the fuck am I talking about?
Fucking A. So yeah, Spider-Man 2, my favorite superhero movie, 9.5 out of 10. The extras are kind of like hamming it up. Like you wouldn't think extras would be a problem in a movie. But they were, and other than that...
Oh, shit, we didn't even talk about the Fortress extras this time.
Anyway, Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 2! Spider-Man 2 on my number 3 slot. Shit!
Yo, nice save there, Mike. All right, my number 2 favorite movie of all time. Runner-up to my first one, it was a toss-up between these 2 movies, but I felt that my number 1 had a bit more emotion and more relevance to me than this one did. And so my... What? You all right?
Another honorable mention is Ted.
Oh yeah, we saw the movie together too. Yeah. But my number 2 pick, my number 2 movie for favorite movies of all time, is Inception. I can't say enough of it. It just further cemented my love of Christopher Nolan as a director. Really kind of showed me that Leo is more than capable of just playing I'm a king of the world asshole like he did in Titanic. You know what? And then it really introduced me to the great actor that is Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Michael Caine was in the movie as well. Tom Hardy was in that movie. Cillian Murphy was. It was just an all-star cast. And you know what? Despite the fact that it had like an hour's worth of backstory, that was very needed because without it, none of the stuff happening would make sense. And a lot of people are like, oh, the introduction is the worst part. But it's like, you wouldn't understand what the fuck happens later if not for the rules they set out in the first part. So definitely Inception it definitely made me, it questioned I don't want to say it questioned my reality because that just sounds fucking weird. But it definitely made me think of sort of how do we know we're in a dream, right? Like
It's
the
like
whole
the Matrix, though,
yeah.
too, right? What's real?
It gives birth to the whole no, like it basically gives context to the whole philosophical and psychological debate that is, what how do we know what is real and what isn't. But
Right.
that's why Inception is my number 2 favorite movie. And Michael, if you want to move on to what your number 2 favorite movie is.
I'm surprised that none of this.
And I'm so excited because this is bothering me all video what the fuck that means.
I'm surprised that none of these movies made
Oh,
it in the
never
top
mind.
10.
Never mind. I know what it is.
Okay, Harry Potter was my childhood. Every movie was. Oh, I wouldn't want. Oh. Okay, take away Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince. The rest were great.
You didn't love the CW special that was Half-Blood Prince, where they all went to high school again?
Oh my god, that was shit. I especially have a fond affinity for the first two because I read the books growing. I mean, I even
Plus,
said this.
Chris Columbus is a great director too.
Yeah, and he knows how to work with kids. I mean, I mean, we did my Harry Potter fan fiction. Like, I loved Harry Potter. That was my.
And if you haven't watched that video, go see that.
You know, people had Star Wars. Like my parents, they had Star Wars growing up. My dad had comic books. But
Harry Potter comic books?
No, he had like superhero comic books.
Oh, I was gonna say it. Wow.
Yeah, I know. I had Harry Potter. I had the video games on the old computers.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah.
I had the levitating Wingardium Leviosa toy where you're hovering a ball and you have to get it through hoops. That was kind of cool.
Kept your attention for hours.
Yeah, and it was the ultimate tale of loss and fighting and trust, and it kind of was the first. It was the first fiction piece ever that kind of opened my eyes to not every adult should be trusted. Not every adult has the answer, and not every adult is nice.
Yeah.
You know, why they banned it in schools? Well, that's America for you. I can't really. I mean.
Well, because all the fucking Bible touting people from the South are like, oh, well, witchcraft is not like, you know.
But that's not. See, but
I know, but they're
really
so fucking dumb.
Because they're so ignorant.
Yeah.
Right. Well, not all Americans. Most of you. But shout out. So now there's 8 movies. You know, as the years went on, it kind of deviated from the source material a bit. And
you're granted some creative liberties with the property.
Yeah, but I am a big purist by the books because those are the books and that's what happened and whatnot.
It's fair to the books, man.
But it was a toss-up between what my favorite Harry Potter movie was, and it came down to Chamber of Secrets. Like, I tried to not put the same series in the same, like, top 10 list. That's why I didn't have Dark Knight in there. That's why I didn't have Home Alone in there, or another Hangover in there, or another Lethal Weapon in there. So, Harry Potter, it was between Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets.
So that's why I wanted to do favorite series.
Yeah, because I was busting my balls. I was busting my balls. I didn't know which one to pick. So
balls busted.
So Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets for me, that was like I think the most closest to the book as you're gonna get. I was, you know what, people were complaining that they were bored. I was not bored for a second. That was Chris Columbus's Hogwarts. That's the Hogwarts I always envisioned. Harry was the Harry I always envisioned in the books. Hermione, same thing. Ron was showing his comedic timing, and it was, you know what, for a nearly 3-hour picture, I was hooked. And the rewatchability that you talk about from time to time. I mean, for me as a kid, it was always that movie, and that was the first movie where I actually saw the special features, and I wanted to go into filmmaking. That was the movie that did it for me. That and Friends, and Seinfeld, that wanted. But in terms of movies, Harry Potter was the first one to do it. I was like, shit, I want to do something like that. Why can't I do it?
That was partially your inspiration for wanting to be an actor.
Yeah, it was
really
because I remember an interview with Daniel Radcliffe, and he's like, I'm so lucky to be doing this and having fun. And I was like, shit, acting. That's interesting. I'm going to give that a try. And
I didn't realize that the whole foundation of what you want to do with your life was from fucking the extra credits or the extra
special
scenes
features,
of Chamber of Secrets.
Yep.
Wow.
I've never told anyone that before. Harry Potter, well, I always loved watching special features after the Harry Potter special features because they had so much in them. So much detail and shit like that. And Friends and Seinfeld, I mean, I was always a big comedy guy, but in terms of movies, I mean, this was just an adventure. Every movie was fun except for Order of the Phoenix and possibly Half-Blood Prince, and maybe Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Not possibly. They were.
But Chamber of Secrets, that was the world I always dreamt about, as a kid, reading the books, and I had the audiobook of the first one. But this, I read Harry Potter, I think in grade 1. I think I started reading the first one, and from there on in, I was always there at chapters. Because we have chapters here in Canada.
That's like
Coles.
yeah.
Right.
In the States for you Americans watching this.
I would always line up, and I'd read the novel. I start reading the novel while I'm in the store. Like, my mom's like, "Let's go. You have the book. Let's go." And I'm like, "Wait, I'm reading." And that was the one book where I didn't mind having to read. Like, maybe if my mom was like, "Read 20 pages," I'd read 30 pages. I was absolutely glued to that book. And if you look at my original copies of the novels, especially Order of the Phoenix, that one was one of my favorites, book wise. The binding,
yeah,
is completely fallen off. I read those books to death, and that was the Chamber of Secrets is the foundation of me going to acting.
I love your screensaver on your computer.
Oh, my brother did that. So when people laugh, I know that they're looking at that. So
dude, that's smart.
So my brother helped me shout out with a screensaver. I got this new laptop, and it's in it's in letters. Your screensaver, you have pictures of maybe of a holiday or whatever. I have stopped.
That's what I have.
I have stopped looking at me. So whenever because people like I usually sit in the front row, and people usually like to look at and see what you're doing. So whenever I have that and people start laughing, I know that they're looking at my screen.
And they just turn around and be like, "What the fuck you looking at, bitch?"
So I think that was very clever. I came
smart.
home one day, and he's like, "I made you a screensaver," and I'm like, "What is it?" And so he showed me. I'm like, "That's fucking brilliant."
Yeah.
So So shout out to that. And Kevin, let's talk about your number 1.
All right, we're wrapping up this thing. We're only an hour in. It's still a fucking long time. Wow. All right, so my number 1 all-time favorite movie, and this is where it gets interesting, folks. Definitely, it was. Well, I told you it was a toss-up between Inception and this one, but this one just won in terms of what it was capable of doing. It felt more emotional. But anyway, my number 1 favorite movie of all time, Toy Story 3. This movie holds a very special place in my heart because of when this movie came out. This movie came out in June of 2010, and this is the time that we were just graduating high school, like the character of Andy from Toy Story was.
Yeah, yep.
And it came to terms with the fact that, you know what, you're going to grow up, you're going to go off to university, you're going to go off to the next chapter of your life, and in order to do so, you're going to have to leave the things that you loved as a kid behind. And for him in this movie, it was the toys. And you know what? And then obviously the funny adventures of what happens to the toys after they're given up. But you know what? It just resonated with me because of the fact that it was very close to me and you as well in terms of timing. And just
couldn't have been better.
No, and like the fact that we grew up with Toy Story as kids, like that was our the pinnacle of kids movies that we used to watch. Yeah, like it was just such a big part of my childhood and yours as well, I'm sure.
Continue because I have a story to add to that.
But the fact that it was able to conclude with Andy going off to college, like we were going off to university at the same time, was just kind of like we grew up like he did, and you know what? It just was so. See, magical just gaze it up, but I'm just gonna say it was a very touching moment because it was just kind of like made me think of like, and you as well, that you know what, that's what it means to grow up. What it means to mature is that you're gonna have to move on, and change is obviously a very scary thing for most people. No one likes it, but it is a necessary part of life that people go through. And you know what, it just. You know, when they gave up those toys, I'm like, nah, man, those are your toys. Fucking keep those damn toys. Bring them off to college.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was just, and they passed it on.
Well, he wanted to keep Woody, though.
No, but ultimately he was just like, he gave the toys to the little girl and then carried on that tradition with her. And it's like, you know what? That is a really touching way to end the series. I thought it was just incredible.
And, you know, they can easily make a 4th one and make a buttload of money, but I don't know how you can end. Like that was the ending, right? That's what you've said that. And
that was the end of that trilogy of that character of Andy. And you know what was actually really funny is that before you tell your story, I'm sure you remember it. I was looking at this. There was this article that someone posted on Twitter, and it was how I can't remember the entirety of it, but the gist of it was that Andy's mom,
Oh yes, I saw
yeah,
that
you saw
one.
that, right?
Yeah.
Was the owner of Jesse.
Yeah.
And then how that came full circle. I'm like, holy shit, if that's real.
What was that? But did Disney like say?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. If that was
Okay.
real, then that would be so fucking cool. Like, it's probably just some
Yeah.
conspiracy theory.
Yeah, someone's
But
like
if
really
it was real,
was reading too much into that.
then that'd be so fucking cool
Yeah.
if it was. But anyway, what was your story that you want to say?
I had favorite toys growing up, and I was a big I had Iron Man toys, and I lost those, and I had my own Woody, my own Buzz from 1995. I had the original toys that came out back in the day, and I lost those. I don't know what happened to them. I know Buzz's leg broke off, but I don't know if my parents threw them out or whatever. And so when that movie came out, I couldn't find them anywhere. I was looking for them everywhere in the basement, couldn't find them. Looking boxes upon boxes for these toys, and that meant so much to me as a kid, and I couldn't find them. And so Christmas that year, I think my brother and my parents ended up getting me. They got me. It was a Toy Story bag, and in it, under the Christmas tree, and in the bag was a new Woody, a new Buzz, a Toy Story 3 DVD, and Jesse actually.
And so this was only a couple years ago.
Yeah, 2010. Yeah, I actually have.
No shit.
I have the Buzz Lightyear in my room standing. I can't get Woody in a standing position.
No
obviously.
shit.
So yeah, they because I was like, where the hell are those toys? Because I used to play with them all the time, and I had tons of superhero toys and whatever. But I loved those toys really much, and they kind of they made it up that one Christmas, the Toy Story Christmas. My family made fun of me, but who the hell cares? I mean, I honestly I don't care.
Well, you know what? It's just like you had those were your favorite toys, though.
Yeah,
and they held like a lot of
nostalgia.
Yeah,
and I was still at McMaster at that point. I mean, I hadn't gone away yet, but that movie I saw twice in theaters, and like I said, it takes a lot for me to see a movie twice, and I thought it was so great, and it was so picture perfect, the timing, and I couldn't find them.
And you know what? That to me.
And it came out on my birthday.
It did, yeah, June 23rd. No, sorry, 27th.
Well, I'm the 27th, so I might have come a day or two before.
I thought it came on the 23rd.
Then yeah, because my family and I went on my birthday. They were like, "What do you want to do?"
No, sorry, my mom's birthday is on the 23rd, and we went to see it for her birthday because she wanted to see it. And but no, obviously yours is the 27th, but no, it came up before that. I'm
okay,
pretty sure.
All right, so for my birthday, me and my family saw it, and then I went to see it with another friend of mine weeks later, and you know who I'm talking about? Shit. So shout out to that. So yeah, so I couldn't find these toys for months, and I was like banging my parents. I'm like, did you throw them out? And 10 years ago, right? They don't remember. They know I don't remember what happened to my Iron Man toys, and this was from the 90s. The Iron Man toys, not from the Avengers, the 90s. So
so stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
So yeah, so. Toy Story 3 was just, I mean, having that as my Christmas present was just amazing, and I rewatched it on DVD.
Dude, I didn't realize that your parents actually did that for you, though.
And I think my brother did it. I think it was my brother that spearheaded that.
But the fact they actually went out and did it, though.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And they might have made fun of you for it, but, they still did it.
Yeah. Well, it was weird because it was like, so Michael, what did you get? And then my mom said it as if they were making fun of me. I'm like, you do realize you got me that gift, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't on my list. Oh, no, or was it? I know a lightsaber was on my list. One of those $80 lightsabers.
The one with the sound effects.
Yeah. They said no to that, but they gave me 3 Toy Story 3 toys.
And the movie.
And I'm like, I don't care. Look, it was a nostalgic gift, a nostalgia buy. I think it was a perfect present. Mm. You can judge me all you want. I don't give a shit. So, fuck that. So, yeah.
Now on to Michael's.
Oh, my number 1.
Yeah, you erased it before you even got there. Fucking ahead of the game here. Game changer.
2 things I really love. Obviously, it's movies and film. But one thing that I might like more than that is hockey. And another honorable mention, like Mike.
Of course it is. Why would I expect anything less from you?
But my favorite movie, and the only thing would be better if it was about Canada, but it's not. It's about the 1980 Miracle on Ice, the Disney movie Miracle. I think Herb Brooks, played by the great Kurt Russell, who should have been a nominated for an Oscar, I think, in that role. That like rewatchability is amazing. I remember going to the theater and watching that movie, and I remember my brother thinking it was like the actual thing, even though it was 1980. The movie was just great, amazing movie. They worked so hard on it. Unfortunately, it didn't win the box office gross. Like it didn't make a lot of money at the box office, but in terms of quality, insane amount of quality. The same director of Warrior, and I heard that was a great movie.
That was a great movie, yeah.
Gavin O'Connor, Gavin O'Russell. I don't remember.
I'll look it up.
So that was a great movie. That was the movie where I had started hockey at that point. Just type in Miracle.
No, sorry, I was just looking at that.
Right.
Who the fuck cares?
So
I think it's Gavin. No, it was
Gavin O'Connor.
Yeah.
So doesn't direct a lot of movies, but the movies he does direct are just pure gold. Another shout out to The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler.
Honorable mention.
Number
Number 10,000.
Fuck, man, I told you it's tough. And I started watching hockey, and I remember my first year of hockey, we won the league. So the President's Trophy in the NHL, we won that in our league.
What was that called? Did it have a name?
They didn't call us season champions, not league champions.
I know it's
season
close President's Trophy, but yeah.
Yeah, so the President's Trophy of our league. And I remember we had to go to the final game.
How many teams were in your league when you were young?
It depends. I think in grade 10 we had like 10 or 12. When I was in because I started in grade 6.
Still bigger than the CFL. Anyway, so
yeah.
But no, you won the President's Trophy,
and
or
I
the
remember,
equivalent
so
of that.
that year, we had to go and we made it to the final. We didn't make it to the finals. We kind of lost that, so we had to collect our trophies for the President's Trophy or whatever. And so we were watching the finals, and just the aura of being in this arena, and the music and the lights and the awesomeness that is being in a finals. I was like, next year I'm gonna make the finals. I'm gonna do it, or I'm gonna die trying. And it's one of those things where I say I'm gonna die trying. If I don't do it, I'm gonna die trying, and I actually get. The finals.
Thank God you didn't have to die. But
yeah. So next year we made it to the finals, and so Miracle had come out around that time, and I watched that for like 2 straight weeks just to get psyched, to get set, and just
throw
watch
that
the
in your
movie.
get psyched mix.
Yep, and just watch that movie because I'm telling you, man, I love the shit out of that movie. Not because it's hockey, and maybe it has something to do with it.
Something to do with it, I'm sure, but
the music was great. The acting was top notch. I can't see one flaw really in that movie. I think they talk a lot about the issues around the 70s and 80s. I'm losing it here. And it's a Disney picture, and it sucks that it doesn't get more recognition because I think people talk about greatest hockey movies or Slapshot or Goon, or for me it's like an Academy Award should have been nominated for Kurt Russell because he was just flawless as Herb Brooks, and it kind of started on my way to loving the sport. And I always liked hockey, but I loved hockey after that movie.
Wow.
So that's my.
So you were a bigger hockey fan after watching that movie.
Yeah, I think so, because I started getting to know. I was like, well, who's Herb Brooks, and I started looking up Herb Brooks, and then I started looking at the players on the team, and yeah, so
it definitely kind of kickstarted your love and fanatic.
Think of it, the top 2 movies of my life kind of kickstarted how my life has ended up.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's actually
movies have made an impression on me.
So let's hope you can do that to others now too.
Ooh, that was gold.
Yeah, that was good. I just thought of that right now. You know what, guys? Thanks for listening. Thus concludes our top 10 favorite movies of all time. Definitely a lot harder to come up with than the superhero ones because we have to look across all genres as opposed to superhero ones. But you know what? I was gonna say, tell us what you think. Naturally, people are going to disagree with our choices, but you know what? Fuck you if you do. But second of all, you know what? It just is like, yeah, like Michael, you have actual reasons for liking those movies, and that's awesome. Like that's actually really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like those obviously had such a major impact on what you're going to do, and that's awesome. But you know what? Thanks again for listening, guys. You're listening to Guys with glasses. I guess we're going.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't.
Why should we rebound to the box show?
Exactly. And remember, kids. Fuck, I still forget.